My name is Stella Quinones. I'm an associate professor in electrical and computer engineering. I have a bachelor's in metallurgical engineering from UTEP, a master's in metallurgical and materials engineering from UTEP, and a PhD in material science and engineering from UTEP. And I would like for you to think about what got you where you are now. Did you plan it? Do you have some important connections of your own? And what is motivating you to succeed? So think about your connections. Think about if you were able to map these connections and how they're affecting your decisions, motivations, and your success. I would like to talk about one of my important connections, my father. He was born on October 10th, 1934. At this time, about 12% of the US population had a phone, just to kind of give you a reference in technology. And I remember when I was in the 4th grade, my father sat down with me at the kitchen table and he helped me with my math. I found out that he was very good at math. There weren't very many people that would sit and work on a problem until they found the solution. So I noticed that we were alike in that way. And when he died in 2011, I came across these electronic workbooks, and I noticed, I was a professor here at UTEP, and I noticed his work, I noticed how meticulous his calculations were. And I could tell just by looking at his work that if he had had the opportunity, he would have gone to college. He was from a small town in Mexico, a very beautiful mining town, Santa Barbara, Chihuahua, near Parral. And when he was 15 years old, he was given the opportunity to attend a private high school in Durango. Somebody saw potential in him and awarded him this opportunity. Unfortunately, his father died, and he was forced to come home, learn a trade, take care of his family, and he was not able to go to college. But somehow he had this interest in engineering, and he pursued it, and he kind of became an engineer by trade. In 1993, I earned my master's degree at UTEP, and around this time, I was given an award. There was a yearly celebration at UTEP. They recognize students, faculty, staff, and I was given the Outstanding Graduate Thesis Award here at UTEP. Well, my parents were invited. They showed up. After the ceremony, I found out that my father had fallen off the roof. He worked at the Popular department store, where he worked for 40 years. And he fell off the roof, probably from a high to a low platform, not all the way down. But he came in crutches, and later on, after the ceremony, he had to go and the doctor put a cast on his foot. So it was very important for him to attend my ceremony. So a lot of things like this happened throughout my childhood, where I knew that for him, education was very important. He was not able to go to college, even though he's qualified. And this was very important to him. In 1994, a couple of years before I got my PhD, my father was given an award. Like I said, he worked for the Popular for 40 years. He was given an award for innovation in creating energy savings by El Paso Electric on behalf of the store where he worked. He had come up or discovered a system where you freeze ice at night and you use it to cool the building during the day. Now, there was an investment involved, so he had to talk to his boss. Based on his track record and that relationship that he had with his boss, it was a very close relationship. His boss agreed to invest in this new system, and it actually ended up saving the company thousands of dollars a month. In 1996, I earned my PhD, and about 15 years before this, I remember that I had lunch with my dad and a friend of his. I don't know whose idea it was to have lunch, but I was in high school, and we went to a restaurant, and this person started talking to me and asking me why I wanted to study engineering. He asked me what I wanted to study. And I said civil engineering, which was my intended major at the time. And he said, "Are you sure you want to study engineering? It's kind of challenging." And I didn't think anything of it at the time. I now know that that's a form of discouraging somebody from pursuing something. But I didn't think about it at the time. I thought, yeah, I want to study engineering. I want to be like my dad. And I was good at math, just like him. So it didn't really faze me. Now, the interesting thing is that when I did get my degree, I got a card. I got a card from this person's father. And he was a very important person in our lives. And he was congratulating me for earning my PhD. Well, he didn't just send a card to me, he also sent a card to my father. And he was very close to my father. My father admired him very much. And he told my father, "How did you do it? How did you get 3 of your children to earn a degree, to go to college, earn a degree, and I have none?" He also had 3 children. And at the time, none of them had gone to college. So this was very meaningful to him, to my father, because he admired this person so much, and because himself, he did not have that opportunity. And although he didn't say anything to us growing up, my parents didn't really say, not like I do now, there's no question that my children have to go to college. They didn't really tell us that back then. It was just kind of like, we knew how hard he worked. We knew he could have gone to college if he'd had the opportunity. He would have succeeded, but that was not the case for him. So who are your important connections? Like I mentioned at the beginning, why are you here? What did you do to get here? Did you plan? Did you strategize? If you do stumble, just think about a chess player planning your next move, one step at a time. Okay? Thank you.